Hi, welcome to the Alberta Motorcycle Safety Society podcast. This is a video version where we're out in St. Albert today at the CTEC Motorcycle Riding School at a Learn to Ride course. Today you're going to learn things about what kind of gear you need, what kind of skills you're going to learn, how long is a course, and all the other different information you're going to find out from James McCarthy out here at CTEC. As you can see, we do have a course going on today, and we hope to invite these students to help us show you what this is all about. Thanks for joining us. Here with James McCarthy out at CTEC Motorcycle Training, and we're going to talk about safety courses and why they're a good thing. So James, to start this off, can you give me a bit of your background in motorcycling?
Sure, yeah. I've been riding motorcycles since probably 4 when I first started riding.
That's quite young.
Yeah, and I'm turning 50 this year, so
wow.
Yeah, getting a little bit of experience with it. Professionally, about 24, 25 years.
And that's road racing?
25 years of teaching people
Yeah.
how to ride motorcycles. I've done road racing. That's where their guys are dragging their knees around corners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did that for a bunch of years. And I was a part of the EMRA when it first started out back in 1999, and slowly started bringing motorcycle racing back to Edmonton. I've been touring all over the world, riding all over the place. I love all different types of motorcycles.
Awesome.
I don't have a favorite, but I do
Yeah,
love...
because I was going to ask you.
Yeah, you know, I don't have a favorite. I like them all.
Yeah.
Anything with 2 wheels and an engine makes me happy.
Well, that's good. That's how I feel, too. That's why I try to own one of everything if I can.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
Options. Options are always good.
Exactly. You don't go to one hamburger place.
No, because everything has a different purpose. Like dual sports, great for dirt. Sport bikes, not so much.
Exactly.
So then you got into teaching, and you started
at the Alberta Safety Council
Yeah.
back in the 90s, and I decided to leave in 2003.
Yeah.
And I went to create the NATE Rider Training Program,
Yeah.
and I ran that from 2003 to the end of 2009. And then left to create this course here at CTEC, and so I've been doing it ever since.
And this has been one of the my top 3 courses in the Edmonton area. Anyway, I'm a safety council grad, so and I did that over 10 years ago. Let's date ourselves since you said you're 50. But I think the courses have probably evolved over the years. So can you kind of give an idea of what happens in these courses? Like how long do they take usually?
Sure. In Edmonton, there's 4 motorcycle courses, and there's different courses in Red Deer and in Calgary, and throughout Alberta, Grand Prairie, Fort McMurray. Every course is a little bit different. Ultimately, the goal is to teach people how to ride motorcycles, give them skills, prep them for the motorcycle road test, which is done on road. So we all have a very similar goal, but we just do things a little bit differently as far as our approach to training is concerned. So some courses will be 2 days,
Yeah.
some are 2.5 days, and what you're going to be learning on the course is everything from just learning how to push the motorcycle, walk with the bike, to how to sit on it properly, to how to ride it at slow speeds, medium speeds, higher speeds, working on collision avoidance, high-speed braking, and lots of other different things that you typically can't learn unless you take professional rider training.
We should do a refresher with me on just how to push my bike.
And maybe some slow speed skills.
James knows I'm not very good on my slow speed skills these
She's
days.
okay.
So what kind of equipment do people need to bring with them?
So it depends on the course that you take. Some courses will expect you to bring a helmet, gloves, coat, something to cover your ankles. You'll be wearing jeans at minimum for minimum safety protection. Some courses will rent the riding gear. They'll rent you a helmet, coat, and gloves. In our course, we loan the stuff to the students. So,
oh, awesome.
Yeah, so we can supply everything. Everything that's required for the course, we can supply our students. And we can fit all sizes from 4'7" all the way to 7 feet tall.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. And that's wonderful that you offer that to your students because gear can get expensive.
Yeah, well, our belief is that we'd like people to actually have the opportunity to try some different gear prior to going out and making a big purchase.
Especially helmets because they all fit differently depending on the brand.
Absolutely. It's like trying on a pair of jeans or shoes, I mean, every brand's going to be completely different. And
Yeah.
it depends where they come from. If it's from Italy, it's going to be more narrow and tighter fitting. If it's from Japan also, you know, it really depends on where you're getting the gear and what kind of gear it is.
Yeah.
So you got to try it all.
We do have a course going on in the
We do.
background today,
Yeah.
which we're going to interact with these students a little bit
Sure,
later.
let's do that.
In your course, or in all the courses out there, does anybody take anybody out on the road?
So it depends on the course. In Edmonton, only 2 of the courses actually have an on-road component. So TNT Motorcycle Rider Training does, and CTEC, our course.
Yeah.
It's really important to have that because the Class 6 road test is entirely on-road. So it was mandated back at the end of 2009,
Right.
where all motorcycle testing has to be done on road.
Yeah, I snuck in there with
Yeah.
that lot testing.
So prior to that, you could have taken a motorcycle course, taken your Class 6 on lot test at the end of the course, and got your Class 6
which is
motorcycle
what I
license.
did, and then they changed it.
For good.
Yes.
Because it'd be like, I have a Class 1-6, so when I got my tractor trailer license, can you imagine if I had never left the parking lot? So imagine my whole test was done on the parking lot, and then all of a sudden I'm out in traffic with 110,000 pounds of gross vehicle weight.
Yeah.
Probably not the safest thing in the world.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So we were talking about some of the skills, and one of the things that we're going to look at with your students today is braking and avoidance.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when I did my course, that was something that stuck in my head, and it has come in handy a couple times on the road.
Absolutely. I mean, slowing down, braking, avoiding things is probably a good thing when you're riding a motorcycle. It's not like we have a lot of crash protection around us.
Yeah.
Cars have crumple zones and V-pillars and airbags. We don't. So we don't really have a lot of second chances on a motorcycle. So we have to know how to deal with those things.
Yeah.
So rather than being, sometimes people say defensive driving, we don't say defensive, we say tactical. We want you to be tactical in your approach to
that
riding.
makes sense.
More like a military operation because there's a lot of dangers out there. And we want to be prepared for them and be able to avoid them when we have to.
Perfect. So in a braking exercise, what do we see here?
What we'll see here is we're going to see, first we'll see a demonstration of exactly how the difference between using front brake versus rear brake versus both brakes together, and then what's going to happen if you rely solely on the rear brake. And it's a very, very obvious display of why you need to master the brakes in your motorcycle.
So in this exercise, we're going to see you and one of your instructors on identical motorcycles.
And so it'll be 2 equally skilled riders. Well, maybe Eric's a little better than I am. I don't know. So we'll have Eric. He's going to be on one bike. I'll be on the other bike, and we're going to be accelerating up to 70 kilometers an hour. Mm-hmm. And he's going to brake correctly using front brake and rear brake properly in one smooth, steady motion, come to a smooth, progressive stop without locking up either wheel. I'm going to come in using only rear brake, and we're going to see the results of that.
Excellent. And then for something like avoidance techniques, is that with like counter steering? What would be the main skill on that, like pushing on your bars?
So push steer and or counter steering. So essentially what the students have been working on yesterday and today, we spent about 4.5 hours on counter steer, or also known as push steer.
Yeah.
So in order to steer the motorcycle at speed, if you want to go to the left, you press forward on the left handlebar. If you want to go to the right, you press forward on the right handlebar.
Right.
So they'll be utilizing push steer through this exercise, and it's something that can happen, in Edmonton anytime. Maybe you're following behind a sod truck and a piece of sod falls off in front of you and you have to avoid it.
Yeah.
Or a number of things. Maybe a vehicle coming through a red light in an intersection and you have to avoid it because you can't stop for it in time. This is a good skill to have.
Yeah, definitely. I know I had an incident on the 3A in BC where passing a vehicle and it just got a little hairy and just safe places to pass and remain calm to get yourself out of a panicky situation. It's easier said than done, but that's what saved me, and all I had was George from the Safety Council running through my head, or Zubin was my instructor back then, who's also taught out here as well, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And just reminding me I'm capable, and those are things that stick with me, so...
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and well, push-steer comes in handy in lots of different areas too. So like your highway scenario, but also in windy conditions. If you have wind coming from the left, you may have to push into the wind.
Yeah.
So it helps keep your motorcycle on the straight and narrow on the highway.
Excellent. Well, those are some really great course highlights that people can expect. Standing here with Wendy and Ross, who are students with James at the CTEC motorcycle training today. And I just wanted to get a take from you guys. What have you learned so far, Wendy?
Well, as a previous rider, I have really increased my confidence and knowledge.
Yeah.
A lot.
So this course is going to help you be a more confident rider out on the street.
Absolutely. It's teaching me things that I didn't even know I needed to know. It's taking me that one more step further.
Yeah, I found that too when I did my course over 10 years ago. It taught me a lot of that on-road skills that I still use today. So hopefully you'll transfer that over. And Ross, how are you liking this course? Would you recommend it to new people or even seasoned riders?
Well, someone with no riding experience, this is just fantastic. They really teach you the core fundamental skills you need and how to think like a motorcyclist.
Great. So you guys are going to practice safety as an attitude and continue to keep safe out there?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for taking the time. I know you guys got some stuff going on here, a little braking and avoidance, so get out there and practice, and I hope to see you out on the road.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So yeah, those were great course highlights, James. Let's talk a bit about the road test, because we touched on that a bit, and it has changed since 2009. But just to be clear for everybody, there is a written portion to this.
Sure.
Do you need that to do a safety course?
So the knowledge portion, no, you do not. Okay. So any license that you hold acts as a learner's permit for another class of license.
Even a 7?
Even a 7. Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, you can get a Class 6 motorcycle license as a Class 7 holder prior to even getting a Class 5.
Right.
So the knowledge test is just that. It's just knowledge to make sure that you know the basic rules of the road.
Right.
But you do not need it to take a course. But if you do plan on testing soon after, you may as well go out and get the knowledge test.
When you do the knowledge test, I understand you have a year to do the road test.
That's right. So it's 365 days from the time of the test.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay. The road test was that's new to me because, as I mentioned before, I did my testing on the lot with the slow speed skills. What is the road test? Like, they communicate through a comm system, and who provides all that stuff, and where do they go?
So it really depends on where you're taking your road test. So if you're taking it through us, I can speak very well to that. So how it works, it's a 45-minute road test from the handshake hello to the handshake hopefully congratulations. And it's done through one-way radio communication.
Okay.
So the examiner is in a vehicle with a hands-free device, and we actually supply the examiners with the radios, and we spend a lot of money on those to make sure that they're digitally secured so there's no cross-traffic. It works really well. The radios are incredibly loud so the students can hear it. It's one-way communication, and the directions are very, very, very simple. Go straight, next intersection turn right, next intersection turn left, that sort of thing. And the job of the motorcyclist is essentially to obey the rules, do what the signs tell them to do, and control their bike. Any
quick tips for people who might be going out to take a road test?
If you haven't taken rider training, I would highly recommend taking rider training. That does make a huge difference.
They'll teach you everything you need, like that your foot needs to be on your back brake.
Well, when you're stopped, the brake does need to be illuminated. That is, that's part of the Traffic Safety Act. There's lots of things to learn from courses, but it's not only just that. I mean, just the obvious basic safety skills and tactics that you're going to need to ride a motorcycle safely.
Proper lane positioning, your dominant blocking side.
Absolutely. We do talk about that in great detail. Yeah. As far as the testing part is concerned, it's with our success rate, it's been pretty high because we spend a lot of time taking our students on the road as well. Yeah. So some courses,
so they get comfortable.
Yeah, some courses aren't taking them on the road. Some do, and I'm glad that they do, because that's where you're going to be on the road anyways.
Yeah.
In traffic.
Exactly. And I think with the change of lot testing to road testing, maybe that's something the other schools should look into
I hope
having
so.
an
And
on-road
they probably
component.
are. They probably are looking
It just
at
takes
changing
time
it.
to develop. Liability comes with that.
Absolutely.
Everything
Well,
else.
it's not cheap to insure these courses.
Yeah.
I can tell you that from personal experience.
Yeah.
But it is something that everyone should be doing. Absolutely. The vast majority of the schools do on road.
So you have road testing scheduled through your course.
Mm-hmm.
Other courses, do you think they're providing the information of where to go and who to talk to? Because I guess
Absolutely.
it's just through registries.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you can book it at any registry that does motorcycle testing for
Right.
Class 6. And some schools have it set up where you go to the registry that they're affiliated with, associated with,
Yeah.
and then you do your road test, essentially. The examiner follows you.
Does it matter where you do your road test? Like, I'm in Edmonton, can I go to Morinville?
You can do it anywhere where they actually do Class 6 testing.
Okay.
Just be aware that in some smaller communities it can be a longer wait,
Right.
because the examiners may not be close by and they may have to come from another municipality.
And for those new students that are going to do their road test, they may not have a motorcycle yet. Do some of the courses provide a motorcycle for a road test?
Some rent the motorcycle to the student after
Yeah.
the course, and some provide it free of charge. We provide it free of charge. We try to be all-inclusive. We want to make sure that the students have a very good opportunity at getting through the Class 6 the first time with skill.
Right, exactly. So we've talked a lot about why the course is a good thing. Obviously, it's going to teach you kind of the right rules of the road, the skills, the lane positioning, braking, avoiding, all of that stuff. Insurance. Some companies like Klondike Insurance and others will recognize this course and possibly lower your insurance rates.
Yeah, it's one thing.
Like any driver training,
Sure,
really.
absolutely. You know, some courses, I think most courses in Alberta anyways, they treat you as a third-year rider after you've taken the course.
Right.
So usually the first 3 years are the most expensive for motorcycle insurance.
Especially for young men.
For sure, yeah, absolutely. Well, for anybody really.
Yeah.
You know, Klondike's really good. We've had great luck with Lundgren and Young, a friend of ours,
Yeah.
Sanjay down in.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
I've
Blue
seen that
Circle.
name pop
yeah,
up.
it pops up a lot. He's
Yeah.
a great guy. So if your insurance company doesn't offer you,
There are options.
there's lots of options out there. Klondike is definitely a great one.
I think in my talking with people about insurance, who to use and stuff, I always tell people to find a broker because they have access to all the different programs that we as people might not.
Absolutely.
And that's definitely helpful. I know your school and possibly some others, I still pop into Safety Council here and there to just go and say hi.
For sure.
They do some post-care for alumni. You've got a really special alumni program out here.
We have, so basically our primary contact is through Facebook. There's about 2,000 people, alumni on our Facebook group.
Thanks for adopting me, by the way.
Which we did adopt you, for sure. Our pleasure. We do things a little bit differently. So we do things like we offer free practice to our students between 12 and 1. We supply all the riding gear, we supply all the bikes, we supply
Some one-on-one with the instructors.
lots of one-on-one. We have we believe that everybody who wants to learn to ride will indeed ride.
And you have a barbecue.
Yeah, we have had barbecues throughout the years. We try to do lots of things for our students just to kind of keep connected and also to advance their skills, because we talk about the myths of motorcycling and we talk
Lots
about
of those.
There's many myths out there for sure. And we just want to make sure that the students have correct information or access to correct information. If we don't have it, we're going to track it down.
Exactly, which is good. And that's kind of what we try to do at the AMSS, is
Absolutely.
go to industry experts and find the right answers and be that hub of information. Which brings an important point that we were talking about earlier before we started this segment, which is really about safety, which is what we at the AMSS are very proud of promoting. And as we discussed, safety isn't a skill. You can't teach people safety, and it's really a behavior. And one point to that is one of our board members, Doug, was, that t-shirt and jeans guy, until I roped him into helping us get the AMSS going, because you need a certain amount of people to register as a nonprofit. And now he's in dragon Kevlar jeans and a proper jacket and proper gloves and helmet all the time. And it really has changed his outlook and behavior, knowing the things that we've researched and found.
Sure.
So can you want to speak to that as well?
I mean, gear's a part of it for sure. I mean, being geared up, again, we don't have that protection around us,
Yeah.
and wearing the correct gear does make a difference. There's no doubt about that. But also I think the attitude, the behavior you mentioned is safety is definitely not a skill.
Yeah.
It's an attitude, and if you have all the skills in the world and you have a bad attitude, bad stuff is going to happen to you on a motorcycle. It's just a matter of time.
Like, you may have the ability to pull a wheelie,
Sure.
but it doesn't mean you're going to come out of it very well.
Who knows?
And
Who knows?
you never know what can happen. And
Well,
there's a
even-
time and a place for everything is basically where I'm going with that one.
Absolutely. And I think the attitude does make a major difference. And that's a core value. That's something that you have or you don't have. So that's something that we can't teach.
The ego show-off type of people.
Sure, there's nothing wrong with that. But
there isn't.
There's nothing wrong with that, but where you should be doing those things, if you've got that kind of attitude, go to the racetrack.
Yeah.
Join the EMRA.
Yeah.
Learn to road race. Get into motocross racing. Drag racing. There's so many cool things you can do where you actually get rewarded at
Yeah.
the end of it.
Yeah.
It'll be a nice big trophy. You're going to get the recognition. You're going to have people clapping for you. And you're going to have the thrill of doing something at a high speed and safe conditions. So
Exactly.
that's the top of Road Road. There's no trophy.
Well, there might be in the form of a giant ticket from the police on the
that's
other
not a
side.
trophy. That's
well,
not a trophy.
I think some
That's
people,
an expensive
some
trophy.
people have posted that on Facebook as a trophy. I personally don't agree. I mean, for me, there's a time and a place for everything. But we see a lot of some of these riders who are perhaps overconfident, think they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, you have probably one of the best sayings when it comes down to you think you know everything, and that is, when you think you know everything, that motorcycle is going to teach you a really hard lesson.
It's very typical because the motorcycle is better than us, and we have to show it some respect.
Yeah.
But there's a proper place for those types of things, and I don't think crashing your motorcycle should not be a badge of honor. You shouldn't be proud of the fact that you've got the crash out of the way, because that's bad.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I've dropped my bike a few times. I'm still not proud of it. I learned from it.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to do it again. Will I? Maybe. Anything can happen at any time. Doesn't matter, like you said, how skilled I am. It's where my head's at when I get on my bike is going to determine, do I arrive safely somewhere?
If you're having a bad day, it's not a good time to throw a leg over a motorcycle. If
Yeah.
you're having a fight with a significant other, leave the bike at home. There's no need for that. Mixing alcohol with motorcycles is a ridiculous thing to do. We expect our pilots of our aircraft to be, alcohol free, even though we have had situations where those people have lost their jobs because of that. We should be alcohol free when we're riding a motorcycle. It should be none for the road. Some people say two wheels, 2 beers. We say none for the road.
And part of everything with riding a motorcycle is keeping your skills up. And you have a practicing perfect mantra.
Well, because practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent.
Yeah.
So whatever you're practicing is going to become your permanent bad habit. So if you practice perfectly, then you're going to have the skills down perfectly.
Hence why my slow speed skills might be
We'll work on
lacking,
that.
because I don't practice.
We'll work on that.
Oh, we can. Of course we can. And the last thing I kind of want to talk about with you is, well, first of all, on behalf of us, I want to thank you. A couple years ago, you stepped up and with the call to help us shoot a high-impact commercial about the left-hand turning scenario. And you and Henry came out and scared the bejesus out of us with how close you guys got to each other. What does your partnership with the AMSS mean to you?
Well, to me personally, it means a lot of different things, because it's we're getting the correct information out to the public, and you guys are a great voice for that. One of the things that I'm also very proud about is that we don't just focus on motorcyclists being the ones who are the victim, because car drivers do some silly things out there. We all see that, but you know what? Same with there's a lot of motorcyclists out there giving a bad name to the rest of us.
Exactly.
So it's equal footing, and I'm glad that we're not just rah motorcycles. We're also we all have to be responsible. Having a license is not a right; it's a privilege, and we always forget that.
Yeah, and again, thank you very much for your time with that and your time today.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate you letting us invade the course, and
Anytime.
well, I know I bounced lots of ideas off of James about stuff, so I'm sure we'll do more in the future. But again, for today, thank you so much for your
My
time.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you have a topic you would like addressed, please contact us through our website at www.ab-amss.org. Be sure to follow our social media, and please share, because together we can do better for safer roads.